Parshas B'chukoisai, Tovshin Peidalad, Be'ezes Hashem Yisborach. Previous shur we spoke about Ishtadlas when it comes to refuah, to try to help in medicine and doctors for someone that's ill. So we were discussing the idea that even though people get very carried away emotionally, and they feel that right now I'm supposed to be doing the most ishtadlus possible because it's a mitzvah, and it's the biggest mitzvah, pikuach nefesh, but it has in it a part which is not accurate, and it's very important to know that because a person could be doing harm. So we discussed that there's never really a reason, there's never really a heter, it's never allowed to do quote unquote ribu hishtadlus. Ribu hishtadlus is never something that makes sense. Which means that a person, we discussed the concept that a person that feels that they can make it happen, that's like the main sign that they're off. Now even if you think you could get the doctor, you could make the medicine work, it doesn't make a difference how important it is and how big of a mitzvah it is. But if the person is in the mode that they feel they could push, and they just have to push a little bit more and it's going to work and it's going to happen, then they have the same old mistake. We can't do anything. We rely totally on the Rebbeinu Shalom. And even when it comes to very, very important areas, I want to have a yeshiva for my bocha, whatever it is. Someone pointed out that the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, Perek Beis, Mishnah Beis, talks about Askonim very clearly. And the Mishnah says, the Kol ha'amelim im hatzibur, all the people that they work very hard to help others, Yihu ha'amelim imoyim l'shem shamayim. So you should be doing your job, and you should be thinking not that you want to be big or you want to have fame or anything like that. You just should do it l'shem shamayim, to help Yidden. And you should know that just in case you have a success, it's the schus avos of the people you're helping. That's the Mishnah, simple title in the Mishnah. Sheschus avoisam b'sayatom. The avos of the tzibur, that's really giving the siyata d'shmaya if you were matzliach in the end, because v'tzitkosam emedes la'at. Because the schusim of the mitzvahs of the forefathers, of the generations where they come from, they did mitzvahs, they had mesiras nefesh, and that's why the tzibur deserves to get helped. So if you were zoiche to bring to them, sometimes it could be a budget for chinuch, so any kind of askonos, you could get a hold of a building for their shul, a nadman for their shul, whatever it is, you should be aware it's not what you're doing. And then the Mishnah says, va'atem, even though you're not really the ones that did it was really the avos, but if you meant l'shem shamayim, if you meant well, malani aleichem schar harbe, the Rebbe says, I'm going to give you a lot of schar, a lot of reward, ke'ilu asisa, so clear. Ke'ilu, so the one that pointed out this mission to me told me, you know where it says ke'ilu? If someone eats on Tes Tishrei, Erev Yom Kippur, it says, it's ke'ilu you fasted on Tes Tishrei. It means, you didn't fast. Let it be clear. But ke'ilu means, you did such a big mitzvah, you ate. I'm going to say it's ke'ilu you fasted. So the Mishnah says, when someone does askonos, amele means working hard. You're trying, you're giving away time, effort. But the Mishnah is saying, yeah, it has nothing to do, the results, the outcome has nothing to do with you. Zero. But you should know, you never meant so well, so I'm gonna give a reward, ki'ilu as a shaykhs to you. So this Mishnah should read like on the fridge of every askin. And many times parents of a family you're an askin. Sometimes people say that they feel they have to buy so much food for Pesach, and there's so much going on in the large family, they feel it's like a moisid. So if the family, it's like a moisid, it's like so much going on, so you're an askin of that moisid. You're running around trying to help this child, the other child, running around trying to put out fires that keep on happening, phone calls that keep on coming in from issues that raise. You should know, you try, but be aware, any success that you bought had nothing to do with the shadlus from the oiskim. The Rav says, "V'loy mitzad ishtadlusan shel oiskim." It was clearly 100% is the schus that the tzibur has. So that's something to remember. So when it's refuah and any different type of askonus, the Mishnah just says it as is. Now, some people struggle with this musik of kalte hishtadlus, like we call it, when it comes to dvar mitzvah. Meaning, if I'm trying to get a job, when I call the guy, I said I want to send in a resume, I think I could be very good for the job. The person on the other side of the phone says, you could send a resume, but we're not really looking right now. Those kind of answers. So kalte hishtadlus means I tried. Let me not get emotionally attached to the hishtadlus that I did right now. It could come from here, it could come from there. Next. Let me just continue on my day like nothing ever happened. What if I'm trying to get an esrik? Or if I'm trying to get a yeshiva for my child? Very, extremely important ruchnisdige achievement, goals. I want to get to have this mitzvah, the other mitzvah. Yesh Logan of going to Miron is one of that. You try and do something that's important, okay? Then, kalte hishtadlus, people find it, they find it hard to understand. But I'm just supposed to I tried getting a shofar for Rosh Hashanah. The guy said that he didn't commit the shofars to the store yet. It might come next week. I think I did mine. What do you mean? You're supposed to, by day, by night, try again, that maybe the other guy has a shofar. That's what a person has such a strong rotzen and desire. And it's not only because he has a desire, it's because he's mechuyev. So if you're talking about pikuach nefesh, and you're saying no, keep it calm, you try this doctor, the doctor didn't answer the phone, you go learn. You're normal? How could it be? It doesn't make any sense. It's a mitzvah. And for a mitzvah, you have to give everything that you got. So people struggle with that. So is there a difference in the emotional state from a shtadlus ba'advar mitzvah to a shtadlus just because you're trying to get a new car? So we try to cover something that would be called ribu yishtadlus. That doesn't quite, you can never do that. And what does that mean? So we didn't say exactly where you draw the line, but we said mainly what a person's supposed to focus is if they feel emotionally that they could make it happen. If they find themselves screaming, or they find themselves not using their mind, actually physically trying so hard and losing yeshiva das, that's a sign that you feel that you can make it happen, and that's always a problem. Okay, that's clear. We're not questioning that. We're questioning the emotional state of the feelings of the person. If the person should try harder. I can't make it happen. You know what? You convinced me. I can't make it happen. But maybe because I'm going to work so hard, then the esek is going to come because of a schus. Because of a schus, not because. Because the Eibush is going to see that I'm doing it. That makes sense.
The learning that should be. You can't just read the Tosfos once. A
person is trying to understand a Gemara. A person is trying to understand. I didn't chap. Okay, I did mine next. No, you do it again. And you do it again. You try. Maybe, let's try harder. Why? Because the yegir v'amal, the toil, the you're schwitzing to do it, is going to definitely bring you closer to the Rebbeinu Shalom, and it's going to bring you to Shema. And that's what the Eibush wants. So once again, let's jump to refuah. That's where we have to get some clarity. Jump to the refuah. A person is trying to get the right doctor. A person is trying to have success in bringing refuah to themselves, to a family member. Being that it's such a big mitzvah, l'choyre, what should the hishtadlus should be, again and again, more than gashmias, more than gashmias. So the person should remind themselves that they can make the results happen, they can bring a but, they should be working on more than gashmias. Is that true or not true? So we did mention that by refuah, the fact is, the reality is that you're not limited to day. You have to also work at night. For example, an airline company, imagine they say, we're closed from 5 p.m. until 9 next morning. You could reach us at 9 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't make sense because it's the line, pun intended line, it's airline, but it's a line the flights are 5 a.m. Flights are 1 a.m. It doesn't make any sense. It's not called Ribu Yishtadlis. If a different guy that runs his company tells people to pick up the phone, secretaries, that he wants there should be secretaries there 24 hours. It makes sense that it's Ribu Yishtadlis. Why do you feel you have to pay people 24 hours? What happens if 3 a.m. someone wants to know something about my company? No one is going to answer. He's going to go to the other one. So I want to have secretaries answering the phone 24 hours. That's called Ribu Yishtadlis. You think that you're going to be there for them 3 a.m. But an airline, that's the 24 hours is like 9 to 5. That's the Metzias. And if they don't do it, they deserve patch. Because it doesn't make sense. People are all over the world also with different time zones. Maybe they could have less staff at such hours. But that's called Ishtadlis. So we mentioned, if we're asking this question, is there more Ishtadlis by Refuah? In quantity, is there more? The answer is, it's not called Ribu, but it's the same amount of Ishtadlis. It's just because Ishtadlis is all over the world, and Ishtadlis is by day and by night. The hospital doesn't close at night. Nothing changes at night by hospital. You see shift. Sometimes it's quieter in the hallways. There's no guest visiting. But of course you have to take care at night. So by Refuah, that part makes sense. But the question is by Esrik. The question is, when I have to get my child into a yeshiva, not Refuah. Very important. The asking. Any type of help you want to save people out of jail. The list goes on and on. Simple Sachen and complicated situations. So when it's like Pidyon Shvuim from boys in Japan, then, okay, people get it more. Why? Because then again, you feel there's no difference. Well, I'm not going to go out of my country because it's not Ishtadlis. Of course you have to do it. But when it comes to have matzah, things that are like, drop more into the simple type of Ishtadlis, that's where it's missing, again, clarity. If there's a difference in the type of Ishtadlis I need to do to try to get someone to help me to get it for me. I called this guy, I called the other guy. I tried. So there's one more piece to this story, and it's very important, because a person could test themselves. It's something that's usually straightforward. It means it's mugdar. It's easier to know if you're doing the right thing or not. The Chovos HaLevavos clearly discusses the difference between Ishtadlis by a mitzvah and Aver. We didn't get there yet. And maybe this shir belongs on that part of Chovos HaLevavos, but being that we got into this topic, it's a to'eles to try to learn it more b'shleimus. Chovos HaLevavos says, I'll tell you there's a difference, but I'll tell you what the difference is. Not the difference that most people think the difference is between Gashmius and Ruchnius. That you're supposed to get all excited. No, you're supposed to do a mitzvah with all you got. But the difference in Ishtadlis is not that. The Chovos HaLevavos says, you know what the difference is? By Ishtadlis by Advar Mitzvah, many times, it's clear cut that this is exactly what you're supposed to do. By Parnasa, etc., anything that has to do with Gashmius, you don't know if you're barking up the right tree. You have no idea. That's it. So now let's understand that. If there's a person that wants to daven with a minion, and there's no minion around there, Api Allah and Shulchan Aruch, he might be potter, there's no minion here. He wants to travel, he wants to, by foot, 45 minutes he wants to schwitz to go down with the minion. It's clear cut that he's doing now Advar Mitzvah. Another example, a person that's listening to someone's pain. The guy says, could you please stay up for 3 hours now? I want to tell you my life story. Usually it doesn't work that you tell him, I want to tell you for 3 hours. It's just, do you have a minute for me? It starts off like that, and it's going on and on. And every second that you're sitting there and listening, you're doing a mitzvah. It's clear cut. But here is the tricky part. A mitzvah, which right now you are busy doing around the mitzvah, Hishtadlis, that once again is not clear cut that this is going to help you. You're trying your luck. If it's even though it's a Dvar Mitzvah, it falls under the first category of Kalte Hishtadlis. Meaning, you don't know A person's trying to be Rosh Yeshiva in this yeshiva. He's applying. He's sending his resume. He says every day, I want to give over Torah. I feel I could convey the geschmack, the explanation of what I have in my mind. I want to give it over. And he wants to send 5 people to persuade that he's the right candidate. It's a big, big mitzvah. The lamed is a big mitzvah. But you don't know if this is good for you. You don't know what kind of boys. You don't know them. You don't know if the sviva. You have no idea. You're trying your luck. It's a beautiful zach to do. You should do a shtadlis. But it's not different than gashmias at all. Because you have no idea if you're doing a move which is going to be good for you. It could be the worst thing for you. So when you're pushing, you're not pushing for the Rebbeinu Shalaya. Because it's not clear. Yeah, I didn't want to say that. It might be bad to the Talmidim. It's not a good match. Like any shidduch. You're sending another guy and another guy. Why are you sending 10 people? Because you want the shidduch very badly. But who said it's good? You have no idea. It's very clear. Shidduch is like clear. You have no idea. It's the future. So even though it's a mitzvah, beautiful mitzvah, you should do shtadlus, but you shouldn't be pushing, feeling that you have to do this because it's a mitzvah. So I can't tell myself, listen, I did mine, I didn't do mine. It's a mistake. Because you're doing things that's not clear. Masha Enkain, once again, let's give that example. When you're listening to a person talking to you, which you're doing a chesed right then and there. You're helping a person emotionally by listening, by giving divrei chizik. You're trying. Maybe you shouldn't say. Maybe you should just feel you're more safe. But when you finished listening to that person and you told that person, "Bli neder, I'm going to try to do something for you." Okay, I'm going to think what I could do. And the next day you think to yourself, "Who would be able to help him?" I promised him I'm going to try to help him. Let me be serious about what I said. You start making phone calls. That's the other type of shtadlis. Why? Because you have no idea who you're calling. So should you call? Definitely yes. But you should be aware that now you're in the dark. You're always in the dark when you're trying to. Whoever tried bringing solutions to people trying to call, but you're always in the dark. You might know, I'm looking for someone, sometimes you're embarrassed to tell the person that you're asking them for the toiva. You might, by any chance, you know anybody that would know how to do this? You have no idea where you're going, b'chlal. So then, the ishtadlus is beautiful and it's a huge mitzvah because you're showing your seriousness. And the Noam Melech says that one of the reasons for ishtadlus is by a mitzvah is the Eibusher doesn't have to have the Maaseh mitzvah, but it's the only way to see that you're serious about it. Imagine you told that guy, "I'm going to think about it." You didn't think of it. You're not in the mood of Bemis picking up the phone. So by sitting down, picking up the phone, it's a begvaldige mitzvah. But by pushing, then you don't know. Once you don't know, you do it, and then you stop. You could do 10 times different things, but you always know that it's a suffix. Let me give an example for it, where people find themselves acting like that anyways. When you have the right feelings, when it's accurate feelings, you're going to act like that anyways. Let me explain. When you're looking for an address, you're looking for a person, let's say a phone, you go to the phone book, you know this guy's name is Moshe Friedman. You look in the phone book for Moshe Friedman. 150 on every street maybe. Moshe Friedman. You try, listen, it's important for me. I'm going to call every Moshe Friedman. So you call them. Now, what's the tone of voice when you say hello? You don't know if it's the right Moshe Friedman. So you speak, you're hesitant, right? Hello, yeah. I don't know if I met the right person. Are you, by any chance, this Moshe Friedman that's giving out? No. Okay, sorry. That's the person's feeling anyways when they don't know if they're barking on the right street. It means, in normale mensch, that's what they do. So what happens to us? We're not the normale mensch. Why? Because for some reason, emotionally, we get very excited when someone told us that guy is what you need. Who said? So emotionally, you call that person and you say, I have no idea if you might be the wrong person. we don't want to feel stupid many times. That's why we say that. It could be I'm talking totally not to the zach, but let me try. Feeling that's the ishtalos that a person does in every area where he knows that he's so limited thinking. In parentheses, a person has told me that he was looking for the author of a book, and he found out the name, and he called every name in the phone book with that name. Nothing, nowhere. And then when he chapped, that he told him the Rebbeinu Shalom, he said a tefillah to the Rebbeinu Shalom. He was looking for a year and a half for that person. Author of a book, he needed it for Parnos, no way, no phone book, no people that he knew. He tried the Kehila, everything. Zilch. He came to the Rebbeinu Shalom after he said, "Actually, you could make me find him." He went that day to eat breakfast, and it happened to be it was a Satmar family. He ate there, and in the middle of a conversation, it came up. He said, "Sure." It was a first family member of his. Sure. And a second. He told him what it is, and it was the furthest thing because the content of the book didn't stem. The Satmar Shita. It was like somewhere where he wouldn't have looked, no way, in the whole radius around there. The Eibush sent him. This is just to remind ourselves how childless, when you don't know where you're going. You don't know if you're doing the right thing. You don't know if it's going to be good. You don't know if you're becoming closer. It's like a person that's going in the forest. You don't know if you're getting further, you're getting closer, even if it's a mitzvah. But you don't know where you're going. That's the Yisoid. Back to the Refuah. Now let's go back to the Refuah. It depends what you're doing. Many types of ishtadlus that you're doing is going to be in the category of a mitzvah with the ganze Geschmack. Being at the side of the bed, going to the store to buy the medicine that was prescribed. There's many tircha, much that's very clear cut. Kibud avayim, right now. But when you're trying to get a certain doctor, that's the other one, because you don't know that doctor could do damage. They will up eaten. Never, it's so true. And the zelbe is with the type of procedure. The procedure, nobody knows if it's going to stem with this person, yes or no. It makes no difference what people say. It's a fact. Not because we have Bitachon. You have to be aware of the facts before you decide what you do in order you should be able to do the right status. The fact is that you think it's the best thing. It's going to be much shorter. It's going to be less side effects. It's going to be cheaper. You have a ganze cheshboinus. I feel for you again. It makes sense what you're saying, but could we understand that it's not for sure? Everything could be the opposite. Even if it's 80-20, it doesn't have to be 50-50. But 80-20 means it's in this claw. We don't know. 20% is a lot. So if we don't know, so again, we're very serious about it. But if the pharmacy is closed, if the doctor didn't pick up the phone, if the asking is not available, ich weiß nicht. What do we know? I think that the English here, we didn't mention the story. That a person gave a first-hand story. That they had a family member that didn't have children for a lot of years. And they were looking and chasing for an asking. And finally, they got the asking. They sat down, the couple with the asking. The asking said, you know something? Yesterday, I just heard of a new procedure that someone did, and it was helpful. Try it. It's something brand new. They tried it. Right away they will go off. Baruch Hashem, they already had a baby. The bris was just not long ago. It's fascinating. They would have chapped the asking a week before. He would take them on a ride for 2 years, don't think. And then they wouldn't go back to that asking because they already used this asking. Go figure it out. It's not shy for us to figure it out. But isn't it a big mitzvah? It's such a big mitzvah. It's a mitzvah. It's the first mitzvah in the Torah. The couple wants to have a child. It's such a beautiful emes any way you look at it. Yeah, but you don't know why you're not finding that asking. So kaltish toddlers in that case means you could try again. It's not that the problem not to try again, but you're You're looking at it as a game. The Eibishter didn't want to pick up the phone. I'm not frustrated because it's for my benefit. This story is such a powerful story. If the asking didn't get through, we didn't have time, and I'm trying with it so many times, I'm supposed to know it's for my benefit, or I'm supposed to say, it's a mitzvah. What's with you? Get frustrated. No. Get frustrated already. It's a mitzvah. Mistake. Why? Because of the shpalt. That's why. Not that by a mitzvah I'm not supposed to be up. You could. But only if you know that you're right now doing the mitzvah itself. You're doing something that's clear cut Shulchan Aruch. This is the mitzvah.
Someone forgot to take his tefillin. He's trying everything to get tefillin. That's clear.
Yes. If a person is trying to get a hold of tefillin today, he didn't put on tefillin today. He's trying this friend, he's trying the other friend. Now, which friend? Weiß ich nicht exactly. But if he knows it's tefillin somewhere, it's not even stadtless. Because you have to put on tefillin. It's not a suffix if you should put on tefillin. Now, there's a beautiful Yismach Moshe. The first piece in Parshas Vayishlach. Parshas Vayishlach, which clearly brings this chilek. It's interesting and important. The Yismach Moshe wants to explain the pasuk. Vayishlach Yaakov Malachim Lefonov. Yaakov is in a mess. Esav wants to kill him. And Yaakov is looking to do his tadlis. So he's doing his tadlis to be meratze Esav, to appease him, soften his. So he sends shlichim with presents. That's what happened. Now it says the word lefonov. It could say v'yishlach Yaakov malachim. It's an extra word lefonov. So he says the Torah wants to tell us that ishtadlus in Yon Avodas Hashem and ishtadlus when it comes to Olam Hazeh doesn't work the same. Because when a person is doing ishtadlus Avodas Hashem, then they have to have the heart all the way there. Rahman Ali boy, be there, get invested. You should do it with all you got. But if you're busy, Pa'ulas Olam Hazeh, you're trying to do something connected to this world, like earning parnasa, money, or you're trying to save yourself from a nezek. That's like a red bulb. Hey, isn't that a mitzvah? He's using that as an example for Olam Hazeh. He says, if you're trying to make parnasa, or you're trying to save yourself from something that could hurt you, then the more a person gets invested, the worse, then he's not doing it the way. Because you're not supposed to be Beitech and any Siba, only under the Boin Shalom. So he gives an example. The same way when a person is preparing their karka, they charisha, plow, and they plant, you're not supposed to be believing in the job you did, just in the koyach of the Rebbeinu Shalom, which makes it grow. Aruchni is the koyach. So you're trusting and you're believing and you understand that if the Rebbeinu Shalom is going to decide to put in chayim to make it grow, it's going to grow. Even if I plow with my whole koyches, it's nothing. It doesn't do anything. V'kacha yisnag b'chol advorim. You should do that in any. If it's a soda, if it's you're trying to save yourself from nezek and everything, you should know I'm doing it because the Rebbeinu Shalom wants me to do it, but I'm not trusting in the pula that I did. And then he says another example for Olam Hazeh, refuah. He sends it to that example. He says, because we see by Asa that the Eibishter gave him a punishment because he was busy with the doctors. And even though it says V'rape Yirape, but the Eibishter wants to know with your heart. He says, it doesn't say Dorash. It's by Asa, his problem was that he was feeling these being soymach on the doctor. He's trusting the doctor. He's like, the doctor's going to do it. That was his problem. If he would have technically done things, that's not the issue with Asa, the one that got a punishment. He was a king, Melech Asa. So he says, Yaakov Avinu, fascinating shtickle. He said he sent shlichim to Esav. But the pasuk says Lefonov, because in Lashon Kodesh, Lefonov means something they do Lefonim. Lefonim means just for it should look like that, for the appearance of it. Maybe he sent Malachim, Shlichim. But inside, he knew it's nothing. It's tussam. I'm doing what you're supposed to do. What does the oilam do? The oilam sends shlichim. Okay, go shlichim. And then he trusted in the Rebbeinu Shalom. That's why he says, Vayishtach Yaakov malachim lefonav. Beautiful. First shtickle on Parshas Vayishlach. What's interesting? Then 1 second, what's going on here? Isn't it Pikuach Nefesh? You better was Pikuach Nefesh. Esav. And he was trying to kill him. It's very simple. So why are you addressing it? Why is your approach Yogishik Shlichem, Chanishkishik Shlichem? It doesn't make much of a difference. What's the difference? I'm trusting in the Rebbeinu Shalom. Hey, that's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah. And he's using refuah also as an example. He says, you're not supposed to be doing refuah emotionally attached to what the doctor says, to what the medicine is nothing. There's only one answer. Like we mentioned, the answer is that right now, he doesn't know if this shliach, if this is going to be the answer. Sometimes you send a person to peace and that guy doesn't get, it just makes things worse. Why are you sending? I know of a shidduch a few weeks ago, someone told me that the parent, the Eibusha put into their minds, the parent decided, this shidduch they're not doing. Why? Not because they feel it's not a good shidduch for their child. Just, they made a decision. The person sent too many shlichim. You're trying too hard. I'm not interested. I don't care anymore about, I don't want a family that's sending people by day, every day someone else in shul is coming over to me, maybe it would be a good idea. Next, cross it out. So you're sending shlichim, maybe you're making things worse. And it's so poshut. Imagine someone that's looking for a worker, he's looking for, let's say a yeshiva is looking for a malamed. A teacher should teach it. They thought about a person. They have just a suffix about him. He's a little bit too pushy with the children. The shtickle shver person. They want to take him because he's very good be'etzim. But this is their one zar. Now this guy heard that they want him for the job. He also wants the job, but he's scared they're not going to give it to him. He sent 5 guys in the last week that would be a dime. What the person did is he just killed it. He just killed it. Because they got a bad taste. So many times this happens. They got a bad taste. Why are you running after? Let's be normal. So you don't know when you're doing these types of acts of ishtadlus b'dvar mitzvah. Yaakov essentially, you didn't know. You're going to the doctor. We be'emes don't know. So if you don't know, then the Bitachon you're doing. He also sent shlichim. V'rapi, you go to the doctor. But you know that right now you're in a world of total doubt. So what does a person do? Instead of Yush, instead of Stamas Bidich Mesiach Das, not that type of cultish tzaddas, of course not. They feel, do I know? What do I know what's good for this person? That's what they feel. That's what is tzaddas is called. Now, you said in Shmata Moed Nashe Seichem. So that's a gewaltige example for a mitzvah where something is clear cut. Something is unhealthy. Person says, you're allowed to cheat a little bit, till 20% is not counted. That's ishtadlus. It's ishtadlus, but it's ishtadlus that's pachas yosef black and white. It's clear, this is not healthy. You're supposed to be doing ishtadlus. You can't say, David runs the world, David is giving keys. This is the mitzvah. This is the gather on the mitzvah, that this is what you should do. And this goes on by every Maisa mitzvah, there's a shtadlis. In all the mitzvah says that there's a shtadlis. You gotta go and buy the matzahs. You gotta chew the matzahs. I mean, you have to do it. You can't say that I tried my best and it's good. This is not good. This is a mitzvah. I mean, I've schwitzen. It's under the mitzvah. This could help people constantly decide while they're busy in doing, and there's almost like the asking that we mentioned earlier. Constantly, you're testing yourself, not is it a mitzvah or not, just, do I know, is this clear cut that this is what I'm supposed to be doing? If not, let me back Yeah, and let me daven stronger, and not that I shouldn't do it, but I should do it with less frustration. That this is the zach. We mentioned in the 2 shiurim ago, with the first on refuah, we mentioned refuah hanefesh by children. When you have a child and you don't know what's good for this child, this method, the other method, this yeshiva, this psychologist, you don't know. It's very frustrating because you feel lost. I should be doing ishtadas, but I have no idea what to do. That matzah that a person is in is a very good matzah. Why? Because if you be'emes don't know what to do, and you right now don't have, then don't feel like you are putting the child down the drain. Don't feel like that. A person is supposed to watch out from atzlis and also from atzlis hanefesh. They have to get their moich together and make that phone call. But if you feel that you're not doing anything for the last few weeks because you be'emes don't know what to do, and you could be going from the frying pan to the fire, then halachadik, ishtadlisdik, you're not wasting time. You take all that energy and you put it into tefillah, knowing that things could take time. And it could look like it's getting worse before it gets better, because it's officially like that. That's how Golus and Geula works. The running around when you have no idea what you're doing, it's a big lavdavka. Novos, when you do some kind of ishtadlis, you're showing that you're serious, meaning that you're maskim to give away time, to give away money, if I would know what I'm doing. So you make that phone call. But then you don't have to do it because you have nothing else to do. If that doesn't make sense, then you don't do it. There's a dachav inside a person, but what do you mean? But I'm not doing anything. That's a mistake. Because even when you are, you aren't. That's why it's a mistake. Because you think that changing the moisid, so many people tried that already. So many people moved, changed all their children. Look around. I mean, if a person is honest, you have to be able to be very, very honest to see if that was taka was supposed to be doing. Now, sometimes it is. It could be. It's a tricky one. But many times, a person is doing it in a sense of running away, not of running to. It's a big, big klal. We could elaborate at a drop. There's a musik that a person is supposed to learn Torah from a Rav that's Liboy Chofetz. You're supposed to be learning a miktoya, a topic in Torah where you like, where you enjoy. And it should be something that fits your tchunas hanefesh, fits your personality, fits your talent. That's what you should be. You should learn Torah that way. Beautiful. Isn't it beautiful? Beautiful. But then why do we find that many people, they were at a certain rov, at a certain kehila, a certain chasidus, whatever it is, and they went away. They felt it's not for them. They went somewhere else. But they're still doing that hopping. Not everybody, but many people. The answer is, there's nothing wrong with looking for a new place. It's such a beautiful zach. The problem is that many people are not so much looking for that place, they're more busy running away from where they were. It's totally on the person. If you do it right, then it's right. But it's most of the times very sensitive. It's very, very tricky if you're doing it right. If a person is in no man's place and they're looking, that's beautiful, because you don't have that baggage. Yeah, they're looking, they're trying this rov, that rov, this kila, that kila. Those people are still doing it the original way. It's supposed to be like that. And even a person that's in a kehila, it's not any problem at all to go looking. Be'etzem. The issue is that most of the times, it's not the case. You know why? Because why weren't they looking last year? So it could be because they weren't yet a mavakish. Now they became a mavakish. It's a certain percent. And then again, it's beautiful. The issue is that usually a person is not honest with themselves, with the nefesh. And they got hurt. Someone shepherded them. Something didn't go their way. Something is not working out. And they said, Zeu, I've had it. I take the things, I'm moving, I'm changing, I'm going. You're doing with the wrong act. When you're looking to run away, then you're in the wrong highway now. Sure, I'm going to show them. It's not, he doesn't say it, he's smarter than that. He doesn't say it, but he wants to look and say, you see guys, you could stay here, I've went on in life. the same is in any type of ishtadlis. When you get frustrated, they don't know what to do. Running most of the times, not always, but most of the time is not the right zach. The moiset that you're looking to go into also has issues. I have news for you. It also has issues. Could be it's a different set of issues. I didn't say you can't end there. I didn't say that. But if you feel the mahalach is that you can make things happen by running, by pushing, especially if you're emotionally now in a big turmoil. Stop. Take that turmoil and use it to daven. If you feel you can't, then go to Meron and daven. It means to do something that's going to get you emotional while you're davening. But don't think that because it's a mitzvah, that's why I could push around and shove around. The mitzvah is not it's more important. People sometimes feel the chinuch of the children. Didn't my grandfather run away from his city? It sounds pretty convincing. So why can I feel that I should be running away? The answer is, if it would be clear cut, you have a point. But if you're going from here to there, ask 4 people that don't have they're not biased anyway. If you're be'emes going from black to white, maybe you're going from gray to gray. If it's from gray to gray, then what does it help me that it's a dvar mitzvah? You don't know where you're going. So you're taking your emotional stress, you're taking your choice atzloch, and you feel, if I'm just going to ... then things are going to start working out. Hey, that's a mistake. It's sometimes painful, but it pays to say it. Because sometimes you could take away agmas nefesh of people that are already, if you're in the middle of making that change, stop right there. There's no reason to have to learn after 25 years that it was a mistake. Okay.